think too, like they did really hit a strong chord when it came to marketing. I mean, that's one kind of angle we haven't necessarily touched on at K18 yet, and something that we should cover. But what I mean, they had that hashtag that went extremely viral on TikTok, the hashtag K18 hair flip. Can you walk us through what that actually was? I mean, they really were taking a scientific but also data driven approach, and I think data really stems from their marketing angle, right, in terms of creating this own viral hashtag and their own sound. Walk us through what marketing K18 actually looks like as well.
Yeah, so I remember they launched in 2020, and there were three things that happened in 2020. There was COVID, there was Tiger King, and there was TikTok, right? And so TikTok was exploding at that point, and so they decided that even though they were selling in salons, they wanted to have a D2C relationship with their end users, and so they came up with this hashtag K18 hair flip. And when I checked a couple weeks ago, there were like 20 billion views, 20 billion with a B, views on TikTok of the hashtag K18 hair flip. And so basically, what it was is you would have users that would say, "Hey, here's my hair before I use K18." And then here's what it looks like afterward. And you can see a noticeable difference. It looks healthier, it looks shinier, it just looks better. And so you see people doing this over and over and over again, and it creates this uh, very viral feedback loop where people want to try it. And then, of course, you get some good spoofs, some comedy stuff that comes out of it, like any good viral trend. But they really, looked at this and said, "All right, we're going to sell in salons. We're not going to go D2C necessarily. We don't really want to give all our money to Facebook. Let's try TikTok." But they recognized that before TikTok had ads or TikTok Shop or anything like that, that they needed to build the audience. And so they did something that was very easily repeatable. It didn't require them to create the content and to pass something around. It was really something where they created the framework, they created a custom sound so it could all be linked together, and they let rank and file consumers just try it. And so it was this great testimonial engine that kept working over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, 20 billion views on any platform, even if it's TikTok, is just insane. That's crazy to fathom. I mean, 20 billion views is, I think, really what created a trend around K18 and what got people excited about their product. I mean, whoever on the marketing team led that, hats off to them, because that is such an incredible strategy, and I think really drove a lot of their just incredible growth. And I think too, like we mentioned, that they sought out the right feedback in terms of, when they were developing the product, they were building relationships with some of the best stylists in the world. But, I think there also was that kind of before and after effect, if you will, of someone's hair. I mean, from the videos that I saw on TikTok, at least the ones that the brand, K18 has posted, a lot of them, like you can actually kind of see the K18 effect, if you will. Which whenever you have a product like that where you can see like a before and after, it definitely draws attention. And so I think that's part of the strategy that worked in terms of marketing their product, is they really leaned into that kind of before and after angle here.
For sure, for sure. And I think another really interesting piece is they went after the right type of testimonials. And so it's one thing if Susan from Omaha loves it, but if Susan from Omaha is actually a big influencer in the salon world, then that testimonial, that recommendation means a lot more. It's kind of a celebrity endorsement in that space. And so by focusing on their salon first strategy, they were able to get the most influential colorists who were working on A-list celebrity hair to start to use this. And so there were a lot of A-list celebrities like Hailey Bieber, Selena Gomez, Rihanna that loved it and kind of talked about it. And in some of our research, there were also several other celebrities that had endorsements with other hair care products that quietly were using K18 because of how well it worked. And so they just built this great following, but it was the right following. It wasn't, it's one of those things where I think you told me this at one point where, you could have 1,000 followers, but if they're the wrong 1,000 followers, it doesn't matter. Right. And so it's one of those things where it's like having just a few people who really are the movers and shakers in your particular sphere That's what really matters versus just raw numbers.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's all about who sees, who listens, who interacts, not necessarily the sheer number. It's all about, the actual who behind those numbers. That's for sure.